Hi everyone, Simply Strength. Today's video is a bit more laid back, unscripted, and basically just a reaction video to some news headlines that I saw earlier today. First one, this is probably the cringiest, simpiest story I've seen in a long time. So there's this guy in Alabama, United States, who will pay $10,000 to find a girlfriend. Apparently he's been on 30 unsuccessful dates in the past 10 months, and to remedy that he has created a website offering a $10,000 reward to anyone who can find him a girlfriend. And this article was originally on the MSN news site through the Business Insider, and I'll include links to all of the material in the description box. His name's Ren Lu Yu. He's 29 years old, lives in Birmingham, Alabama, and he's a recent Harvard Business School graduate and now works full-time as a private equity associate. So it's quite a good job and a good education as well. And the article goes on. There's just one problem: he can't seem to find the right woman. To remedy that, he's got this new website called dateren.com, where people can submit female friends who might like to date you. That's obviously his name. And as an incentive, if you and a woman submitted to the site wind up dating for more than 6 months, he says he will pay $10,000 to the person who helped set them up, unless your future girlfriend submits herself, in which case she would not be eligible for the cash reward. Finding the woman of his dreams apparently is worth $10,000 to him. And he compares finding a potential partner to purchasing other big ticket items such as a car or a house. Quote, "I would argue that all these things pale in importance to finding somebody you get along with and you may end up marrying." Ugh. You told BI. So $10,000 seemed pretty reasonable. If a potential partner meant that much to him, then and it was comparable to purchasing other items such as a car or a house, to be honest, you wouldn't get that great a car for $10,000. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you were talking, high level luxury car, you wouldn't be able, I doubt you'd be able to get a Lexus for $10,000. It's going to be, double or even triple that. And that's what I would call a big ticket item, something like a luxury, a Lexus, an Audi, high quality, especially if it's brand new. And certainly not a house. So how can you compare them when they're not equal in terms of value? But anyway, just the fact that he mentions marriage just gives away the whole simp trip. I'm going to start a new video series called Simp Squad and just cover a new simp every single week. Before starting his own dating site, Yu was disappointed by his experiences with standard dating techniques. Quote, "I've been on a bunch of dates and gone through all the usual methods, friends of friends, introductions through co-workers, OkCupid, Match.com, Tinder, everything," Yu told Business Insider of his failed dating efforts. Even though he was going on plenty of dates, he wasn't meeting the kinds of women he envisioned potentially spending the rest of his life with. Oh, dear me, dear me. Quote, "With online dating, you have this problem of adverse selection. Only the people who self-select into a particular dating website are the people you have access to. Unlike other dating websites, women can be involuntarily submitted to Yu's website. With this site, I have access to basically everybody. You don't have to see the site or know who I am. You just have to know somebody who has seen the site." Yu made sure to let his family and friends know what he was up to before starting this new dating adventure. "I understand there's always the potential hazard of people thinking you're an asshole," I would assume that means, "and the internet deciding it doesn't like what you're doing," Yu said of his concerns in starting the website. For now, Yu is just trying to streamline the process of finding a woman who he can call his girlfriend and maybe someday his wife. "I'm trying to make dating as efficient as possible," he said. Oh man, this is like the most desperate thing you can ever do. And I mean, the guy's got a great education and a good job. All he should do is focus on improving himself if he's really that hell-bent on getting married. But anyone out there, all you guys, MGTOW, you all know the score. Why get married? There's absolutely no reason to get married. he could put everything he's worked for, if he has, he's obviously got money to burn because he's doing this stupid endeavour. He could jeopardise everything he's got to date, jeopardise that education or the fruits of his labour, and basically set himself up to be shot down and be devastated, pretty much. So, I mean, $10,000. What? You could go to a high-class escort for that and have a great time with no strings attached. I mean, it sounds like he needs a pimp or something like that, All this airy-fairing about with getting someone to set him up with a marriage material. All he's going to attract is gold diggers and whores. With they're just going to see, if he's got $10,000 to throw away like this, then he's going to have a lot more tied up in the bank. So he'll just attract parasites. I was looking through other headlines on the MSN page. I mean, I don't normally read celebrity news because it just pisses me off. But if he were to just go on the MSN news page, he would find plenty of evidence contrary to marriage. You just have to look. Here we have Kerry Katona's marriage is on the rocks. Now, this is a woman who used to be she's best known as a member of Atomic Kitten, one of these, one of these sanitized, created bands, the pop bands that are just put together from different pieces and put together totally unnatural and, just pop fodder, basically. She's 34. Been involved in a load of blazing rows with her husband, George Kay. I mean, I don't know if she'll be familiar to those of you across the Atlantic, but she did win things like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here and all this crap. But apparently she's been involved in a series of blazing rows with her husband. She's subsequently kicked him out of their family home. Probably his home. Who knows? Doesn't say. But a source explains that George's party lifestyle doesn't suit her. He's been going missing regularly, and Kerry said she's had enough. She's had such a rough time over the past year or so and hasn't been able to support her at all. All he's bothered about is how he looks going back to Warrington to see his friends and partying, and he's done nothing to support her financially or emotionally. Oh, so he's not doing his bit. What if they don't mention anything about if she's doing her bit? What's she doing for him? Maybe he's going out and partying for a reason. Maybe he's not getting what he needs at home. Who knows? But there's no information about that in this article. So they've got a 1-year-old daughter. Probably she's going to be messed around with and to-ing and fro-ing if they split up. And then Kerry's also got 2 kids each from her first 2 marriages to singer Brian McFadden and Mark Croft. And she's worried about putting her children through even more heartbreak. Well, how about she stops marrying, full stop, and, starts choosing either better men from her perspective, or I don't know, but it sounds like she's not very good at this marrying thing or choosing the right guys. But anyway, not a good advert for marriage. She says she feels like she's putting her own kids through what she went through when she was younger with her mum and a string of bad men. Oh yeah, she's doing exactly that. Exactly that. History repeating itself, and they never learn. If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. It's like it's one big game, and the kids are just in the middle of it, and it's real for the kids, but not for the parents. And she's just had a complete disregard. So that's her. The next story, these are all about marriage or relationships, and these are basically all just pulled off of the MSN Entertainment website that I just glanced upon, having seen the simp in chief, Sergeant Simp, spending 10 grand on someone setting him up with a girlfriend. Next we have one of my heroes, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Split situation is tough. Arnie admits having a child with another woman has caused a very tough situation. Obviously he's 67, he's separated from Maria Shriver, mother of his kids, and he's got a few kids with her. In 2011, after he confessed that he'd fathered a son, Joseph, now 17, with their housekeeper, Mildred Boehner. And he has a fantastic family, he says, and they're all working together to figure out this dynamic. He says, "My family is fantastic, including my 5th child with Mildred. He's terrific and he totally understands the situation. So it all has worked out. It's a very tough situation for him. It's a very tough situation for my kids. A very tough situation for my family. It was tough for everybody. But it has happened and now we have to figure it out, right?" He says the former governor of California is thankful his estranged wife has worked with him to ensure he still has a good relationship with their kids. Quote, "It's worked out really so well with the help of Maria. My kids are a straight 10. I'm so proud of them. I'm so in love with them." The Terminator Genesis actor admits his split from Maria is one of the biggest failures of his life. I'd go easy on yourself, Arnie, because in every other area you've had tremendous success. More than several lifetimes, really, of success. He added in the interview with Howard Stern, "I had personal setbacks, but this was without any doubt the biggest setback and the biggest failure. Without any doubt. Not only failure, but you feel like I'm to blame for it. It was me that screwed up. And you can't point the finger at anybody else. So yeah, I was disappointed in it. It's always easy to be smart in hindsight." There's no blame. Why is there no blame on the housekeeper? I mean, Bill Burr's mentioned this in a video, saying that why does no one call her the whore? Because she was on first name terms with Maria. And yet, she had sex with Arnold in their bed. And no one ever calls that. And I think Bill is completely 100% right on that. You know, if you're going to proportion blame, everyone points the finger at Arnie. And it takes two. And ultimately, you know, she decided to have the baby. Because, you know, the women are completely in charge of whether they decide to have the child or not. And the man has no recourse. I mean, yeah, he should have rubbed it up. But next story. We've got Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman banned from working with Angelina Jolie by wife Deborah Lee Furness. Or Furness. I think it's Furness. Apparently, Hugh had been banned from working with A-list actress Angelina Jolie. His wife has admitted. The actress joked that she doesn't mind her husband working alongside any other actress apart from the Oscar winner. And sitting alongside her husband as she chatted on Australia's Today Show, she said, "I've told his agent he's not allowed to work with Angelina. I'm sure she's very nice and I love what she's doing, shining a light on awareness for adoption. Just kidding." Clearly finding the whole conversation amusing, Jackman started giggling as his wife of 19 years trailed off. Discussing the secret behind the longevity of their marriage, the Wolverine star admitted that they tried not to spend too much time apart. He said, "Deb has had a rule, never apart for more than 2 weeks, and we have never been apart for more than 2 weeks." Another simpy story. Yeah, he's got to do exactly what his wife says. Speaking about the first time they met while shooting scenes for 90s prison drama Corelli, Furness said, "From the get-go, he was great fun to play with. He was like a great buddy to play with. We just loved acting together. It was like a great tennis match. So it never shifted from that, from day one." I mean, who is she to say who he can and can't work with? It's his professional career. So he could potentially turn down a big paycheck, a big film, with Angelina Jolie purely because she said so, or she doesn't want him working with her. What is that? I mean, how would that be received if he turned around to his wife, or any guy turns around to their wife and says, "I don't want you to work on that project because there's an attractive guy on there who you might run off with." You get accused of being jealous or overbearing. It's just more I think all of these stories really highlight to some degree the gynocentrism. And it's the especially the story about the $10,000, the simp. I think it just inflates women's perception of their own value and further reinforces the gynocentric paradigm. And it needs to stop. And people have got to stop simping. It's crazy, and it's so cringy and needy and desperate. So I'd really like to hear your thoughts on these stories, because I appreciate I've not been my usual flowing self. I mean, this was just a short video really to just run through some thoughts, because I first read the video, first read the article, and it really pissed me off, to be honest. Not so much for the guy. I mean, the guy's entitled to do what he likes, but it just sends that message that, you know, we as men need women. We need to have our thirst satisfied, and that's completely not true. And in further videos, you know, I'm going to talk about sexual transmutation, that Truth Over Everything initially got me interested in, and that sort of mindset whereby you no fap or no sex, and basically funnel that energy, that's sort of almost spiritual in the sense that you divert all that energy into your pursuits, so your hobbies and passions. If you think back to my video yesterday, using the 5 Ps model, I think that's quite useful. But yeah, we need to get around that, and granted, a lot of guys find that easier, and some don't. So do let me know what you think about this guy. I personally think he's weak and needy. He's got money, he's got a successful career, but he could totally squander that. And he's just shown that he's absolutely needy as hell and desperate. And certainly, if he's got his eyes set on marriage, then he needn't bother, because as you've seen from just the celebrity examples, it's a pain in the ass and offers no benefit to a man. It just, you know, why do you need the state to get involved in legitimizing something? And why do you need to turn your relationship with someone into a business contract, into a business? Why do you need to make your relationship a corporation? Completely unnecessary. And if it all goes wrong, then you as a guy stand to lose everything, or well, most things that matter anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that more free-form video, and I'll be looking to put out more podcasts and more in-depth content moving forward. So thank you, and do take care now.